midday meal in the form of cooked food having the scheduled calories and proteins is the legal right of every child. Keeping this in view, the School Education Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh, with support from Government of India, is implementing the midday meal program in the state. The main objectives of MDM program are to improve academic performance of students through school-based nutrition and health interventions, to improve student enrollment, enhance retention and reduce absenteeism, to improve health of students and minimize social and gender inequities, to avoid classroom hunger among students and its adverse effect on their academic performance. The MDM guidelines to provide cooked midday meal. For primary child, 450 calories and 12 grams of protein, rice 100 grams, vegetables 50 grams, pulses 20 grams and oil 5 grams. For upper primary child, 700 calories and 20 grams of protein, rice 150 grams, vegetables 75 grams, pulses 30 grams and oil 7.5 grams. Self-help groups (SHGs) participate in cooking and supply of midday meals at the school point. This is to empower women who are also mothers of children studying in schools. In a few instances, MDM is also supplied by some agencies covering large number of schools. Young and middle-aged women should be considered for the job of Cook-cum-Helpers. Since the work involves starting in the early hours and working till midday, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding or having infant children cannot be taken as Cook-cum-Helpers. Requisite number of Cook-cum-Helpers should be deputed at school level for the distribution of food from the kitchen during midday meal with proper gear. Every child is precious. Cooking a healthy meal in a hygienic atmosphere and serving it hot is something a cook-cum-helper should enjoy. Cooks and helpers involved in MDM should maintain a high degree of personal hygiene and cleanliness. They should have adequate and suitable clean protective clothing. Head covering hair should be tied up neatly, essentially during midday meal operation. The cook-cum-helpers should wash their hands each time work is resumed and whenever contamination of their hands has occurred. Example, after coughing or sneezing, visiting toilet, using telephone, etc. Avoid certain hand habits, example, scratching nose, rubbing eyes, ears and mouth, scratching parts of bodies, etc. that are potentially hazardous when associated with handling food items and might lead to food contamination through the transfer of bacteria from the employee to product during its preparation. When unavoidable, hands should be effectively washed before resuming work after such actions. Nail polish or artificial nails should not be worn because they can become foreign bodies and may compromise on food safety. No watches, rings should be worn during cooking, serving and distribution, where there is a danger of contamination of product. Chewing, spitting and nose blowing should be prohibited within the premises, especially while handling food. Any person suffering from infectious disease should not be permitted to work. Cooks or helpers should report immediately to their supervisors if they are suffering from any disease likely to be transmitted via food. Example, diarrhea or vomiting, infected wounds like skin infections, jaundice or sores. Biannual health checkups should be undertaken to ensure fitness for the job of cook-cum-helper. Pulses, spices and oil are procured on weekly or monthly basis. It is a common practice to purchase open packets of pulses and spices and wrap them in small quantities in newspapers or waste paper. This is a major source of contamination. Only packed dals, salt, spices and oil with Agmark quality symbol should be purchased. The packaging and expiry date of the ingredients should be checked for expiry date or best before or use by date, packaging integrity and storage conditions. Only double fortified salt should be used for cooking midday meals. Any ingredient being sold loose should never be bought. Vegetables, fruits and perishable food commodities should be procured fresh, and storing for longer time or duration should be avoided. Perishable items should not be stored in plastic bags, as these get spoiled quickly due to lack of transpiration. Such items have to be stored away from sunlight in a cool place. Airtight plastic or stainless steel food-grade containers are ideal for storage of dals, spices and other food grains. These should not be stored directly on the ground. A wooden plank should be used for stacking of food grains. Should be away from the walls about 1 feet to avoid absorption of moisture. The height of the wooden plank may be at least 8 to 12 centimeters above the floor, so as to facilitate effective cleaning. Food grains like rice should not be stored for more than a month. No raw material or ingredient should be accepted if it is known to contain parasites, pesticides, or is decomposed. Raw materials should be purchased in quantities that correspond to storage or preservation capacity. All containers should be cleaned at regular intervals and thoroughly dried before use. Food and non-food materials should not be stored in the same area. Not all food materials can be stored together because of risk of contamination. Fuel like fuel wood, LPG should be stored safely so that there is no fire hazard. Storage of disinfectants, detergents, cleaning agents should be strictly away from the stored raw materials. This begins with the cook-cum-helpers opening up the kitchen-cum-store located in the school premises early in the morning. The kitchen windows are opened to let in fresh air. The CCHs sweep the kitchen and mop it. After this, they wash their hands with soap before resuming any cooking preparation. The headmaster or supervising teacher measures required quantity of food grains, pulses, oil, vegetables, etc. stored at the school point and hands it over to the CCH. The cereals and pulses should be manually cleaned before cooking to remove any extraneous matter. Rice, pulses and vegetables should be washed a minimum of 3 times before cooking. For chopping vegetables, a clean chopping board should be used. Leafy vegetables, when added to any preparation, should be thoroughly washed before cutting. Leafy vegetables should not be subjected to washing after cutting. The Cook-cum-Helpers should be acquainted with the recipe formulations, understanding process requirements for bulk preparations, process of pre-preparations, measurements, cooking in large vessels, hygiene and safety aspects. They should know how to source raw material, check quality and store the groceries. When it comes to nutrition, the Cook-cum-Helper should clearly understand the importance of nutrients and micronutrients in the cooking of midday meal, iodized salt, carrots, etc. Single dish meals using broken wheat or rice and incorporating some amount of pulse or soya beans, a seasonable vegetable or green leafy vegetable, and some amount of edible oil will save both time and fuel besides being nutritious. Recipes requiring fermentation and sprouted pulses lead to increase in nutrition value and accordingly should be considered as an option in the menu. Cereal pulse combination is necessary to have good quality protein. Sprouted pulses have more nutrients and should be incorporated in single dish meals. Usage of millets in food preparation, if locally grown and available in plenty, is advisable, keeping in view the nutritional value. The containers should be checked for cleanliness. Cooking must be done with the lid on to avoid loss of nutrients and contamination. Temperature of the midday meal when served should be maintained at 65 degrees centigrade. Therefore, food should be served to children immediately after being cooked. The floors of kitchen and the slabs should be cleaned every day before and after the food is cooked. Special attention should be paid to the cleaning of obstructed sites including cooking areas and at the junction of floors and walls. The cooking areas must be kept cleaned at all times. Cleaning accessories such as cloths, mops and brushes carry a very high risk of cross-contamination. They must therefore be thoroughly washed and cleaned after use. Sun drying of the cleaning accessories in a clean and tidy place should be done. Wooden plank, benches and raised platforms should be clean and tidy. Cooking utensils and crockery should be clean and in good condition. These should not be broken or chipped. Utensils should be cleaned of debris, scrubbed with detergent and washed under running tap water after every operation. Wiping of utensils should be done with clean cloth. Clean cloths should be used for clearing surfaces and wiping hands. Cloth used for floor cleaning should not be used for cleaning surfaces of tables and for wiping utensils. Dust or crumb from plates or utensils should be removed into dustbin by using cloth or wiper. Accessories and containers that come in contact with food and used for food handling, storage, preparation and serving should be made of corrosion-free materials which do not impart any toxicity to the food material and should be easy to clean or disinfect. Equipment and utensils used in the preparation of food should be kept at all times in good order and repair and in a clean and sanitary condition. Such utensil or container should not be used for any other purpose. Every utensil or container containing any food or ingredient of food should at all times be either provided with a properly fitted cover or lid, or with a clean gauze net or other material of texture sufficiently fine to protect the food completely from dust, dirt and flies and other insects. Cook-cum-Helpers play a key role in providing healthy and wholesome food to growing children. They should deem it as a privilege to provide MDM to school students and should always be responsible and accountable in cooking MDM with proper nutrition in hygienic environment. Good food cooked with fresh ingredients in a clean and neat kitchen cum store that brings a smile on the faces of children should be the endeavor of the Cook-cum-Helpers as well as the cooking agencies.